Hi there, this is Derek Shumway here on today's Dollar Props podcast. Today is Thursday, September 3rd, 2020, and today I am joined with a super special person today. It's actually my intern, Matt, and if you listen to the first podcast, you would hear that I was pretty worried because I'm not going to lie, I did it right before we were supposed to meet, and I was like, I don't know if he's going to show up, so you're going to have to tune in next week to see if he comes. And surprise, he's actually here with us today. He did show up for the job, which I'm super proud of. I was, again, my cholesterol was going sky high, and I just didn't know if I had faith in humanity anymore at that point. But I'd like to welcome my intern to you today, and he's going to talk about himself and kind of introduce himself so you know what we're looking at for the rest of the semester.
Hi guys, my name's Matt Johansson. I'm Derek's one and only intern for this semester. Excited to be here, excited to work with Derek. Like he said, I'm the only intern. Kind of nervous first meeting him and getting on the meeting.
I was super nervous.
And when I found out I was the only intern, I don't know if that made me more or less nervous. I get to spend more time with Derek. It's just me and him doing this. But also I feel a lot of pressure being the only intern.
That's good because I feel a lot of pressure. Well, I don't know if that's good or bad, actually. But I feel a lot of pressure because I'm like, well, there is only one. So that makes me feel super under pressure. But hopefully since we've talked, this is actually our first time meeting in person. We did like a Zoom call last week. But we decided to meet to do these podcasts, which I think will be pretty interesting. But I'm telling you, you got to listen to this podcast first. Not the first one because I don't want you to listen to me all the time and stuff. And I just believe, the second time is better. Seconds are better. So, now, Matt, I'm going to ask you again. I honestly do not remember what grade you are in college and stuff. Are you in like 14th grade, 15th grade? Do you remember? Where are you at in school right now here at UVU?
Yeah, so I'm here at UVU. I'm actually a senior, so I've got 2 semesters left, this one and the next one, before I graduate. I'm here studying business management. I love UVU. Honestly, it's been great. 4 years here. I guess 3 years going on 4 years.
4 years. That's as long as what a president would serve. I always realize, in one presidency, I would have, a new president stuff there. So senior, so you're going to, graduate next April. I'm also a senior, and I am studying at BYU down in Provo, just a stone's throw away, majoring in political science, a.k.a. fake news. So that's my specialty is all things that, I don't know if, the only textbook would be, CNN.com or maybe Fox. I don't know. But I'm also a senior, and I'll graduate in December, but we're still going to walk the same time, actually, next April. So we're kind of, on the same page, I guess. I'm in 3 classes. How many classes are you in this year?
4 classes.
4 classes. That's a lot. And you're working too, right?
Yeah, so I work also part-time right now at a pharmacy as a technician. So work there part-time throughout the week and then attend school the other days. And now I'm picking up this internship with Derek as well, so it's going to be a busy semester for me.
That is super interesting. And I honestly think a pharmacy job would be really interesting because I remember in high school, looking into jobs, and I thought, maybe I could be a pharmacist, those people that you go and get your prescription filled and stuff. So I guess would you say it's is it harder than people make it think? Or is it I don't know, do you have to be not smart or dumb, but how, I don't know, can anyone kind of be trained to do it? How do you even become that, I guess? Is it special training or anything?
Yeah, so a lot of the times they have those tech programs in high school that a lot of kids will do to become the pharmacy technicians. I was lucky enough, I had a good connection with my uncle. He actually owns a pharmacy I work at, so I was able to do on-the-job training. It's not too hard of a job. At least I had it more worked up in my head than I thought it'd be more stressful.
I think we all have that, before we start a new job,
Yeah, and especially dealing with medications and being at the pharmacy, I thought it'd be a lot more stressful. And it's really, you do have to be careful, and it is, you have to be careful doing your job there, but it is pretty much anyone can learn how to do it. It's not super hard of a job, but it has been a good opportunity for me. I've enjoyed working there.
Well, that is super neat. So you're working, and you're also kind of working too, doing this internship. I'm obviously doing this too with you and stuff. And I have 2 other jobs and stuff. I'm a substitute teacher here around the valley and stuff, which I love, seeing little kids. I just came from substituting what was it, 7th and 8th graders. We were doing PE, ultimate frisbee, and it actually got a little heated. There are some kids whose emotions were not in the best place at the competition, and I don't know. They had some sour feelings afterwards. So I've still got to send that report to the teacher tonight, actually, about what went down today at PE. But here's the thing. So this podcast is following basically week by week what we're actually doing with this Dollar Prop startup company. It's 2-3 years old there, and our official company birthday is July 18th, is when the company was officially formed as an LLC and stuff there, of 2018. So yeah, July of 2018, on the 18th of July there. And I started doing, an online website called dollarprops.com for services. Didn't go so great on paper, financially, of course, there. Matt's going to find that out when he looks into our numbers and stuff there. Been very transparent, though, by the way, with him and all my interns. But now we're trying something different. We're jumping into a whole different industry, trying to sell LED light bulbs. So we're going from services to, I guess, energies and maybe renewables. Basically, our business model is this. We just want to find the cheapest light bulb possible and sell it for as high as possible to as many people as possible. It sounds simple like that, but then obviously I lose sleep at night over this because I'm like, what do we do and stuff there? I'm not sure how to get the next step. But that's why we're doing, this is our first, it's at the birth of a new company, like Dollar Props 2.0, because this is a new semester under the new company. We've still got the same name, but different guts and stuff, different direction. So, now one thing I forgot, though, to learn about is I wanted to ask you, Matt, what was your favorite food again? Do you have a favorite foods and stuff?
Favorite foods would have to be Italian.
Okay.
So like lasagna and pasta.
Olive Garden, Carrabba's, all that stuff there. Oh, good. Okay, we'll have to check that out sometime. I like anything. Fast food is delicious. I feel like garbage after, but
it's so worth it.
That's good. Your favorite food there. So that is Matt, our one and only amazing. In French, they would call it le seul et unique, one and only intern stuff. So this past week, what Matt's been working on has been looking into researching light bulbs. This is just basic stuff. This is not some, I guess the work that we do, it's not, from what I heard from someone else saying something else, this is not some big, huge, awkward, massive commitment to, being official and professional, knowing, everything. This is just starting online and Googling up, where to buy light bulbs and how much do they cost, and let's figure some stuff and organize some stuff to see, okay, at this store, this is how much they cost, at this store, this is how much they cost, but online they cost this much and stuff. So he's doing some research in LEDs, and we're going to talk about that, see what he found today. I've done some in leading up today, of course, but I just need someone to confirm it. Someone that will right my wrongs and be like, okay, it's actually this, Derek. So how did that go this week, Matt? Tell me what you learned and stuff.
Yeah, so I spent a lot of the week researching those prices for the light bulbs, and I thought it'd be pretty simple. I didn't think there'd be much to it, and then just starting to research, you don't realize how many different light bulbs there are and what kind of watts you can get, and so just looking on Amazon and Walmart, there's so many different options looking at it. So anyways, once you get past that part, I spent most of my time just online this week, actually, just looking at Amazon, Walmart, a lot of the different supply stores.
Just Googling up LED or something like that.
LED light bulbs.
See, it's not that hard. I think anyone could start a business, honestly, doing it like that there. I guess if you want to start a business, you could just listen to our podcast and write down everything we do and then duplicate it. And then you can call it Dollar Solutions LEDs instead of Dollar Props. I don't know. Start your own business selling light bulbs like we do, and you'll only be 1 week behind us and stuff. But anyways, keep going there and stuff. So you've been looking online and stuff there. I guess what did you think beforehand? Did you have any idea what you think you might come as oh, this is more expensive than I thought, or this is cheaper than I thought, or oh, I didn't know that they sell light bulbs. Any of that stuff going through your head this week?
Yeah, I think most of what I thought was that it was cheaper than I thought they'd be, especially buying them in bulk from Amazon or Walmart. A lot cheaper, and then even researching stores like CVS or Walgreens, they sell LED light bulbs, believe it or not.
That's good.
You can get 1 or 2 light bulbs there and they are more expensive buying it that way.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking, obviously, if you're buying it at a smaller store like CVS or Walgreens, or only in like 2-packs and stuff there, that you're not going to, well, it'll just cost more and stuff. What I found roughly is that a light bulb, and we're talking LEDs, not incandescents, not halogens, just the normal LEDs that you would find, the energy efficient ones. But on average, I would say from what I deducted was that a light bulb will cost anywhere from like $2 to $6, maybe $4 on average per bulb. But on like a super cheap place, maybe like Amazon, you could get them for like 99 cents. Is that about lining up with what you saw too?
Yeah, it was about 95 to $1 per light bulb on Amazon.
And $1 is our sweet spot here, Matt. This is what we want. We want to. I don't know how you could find a cheaper light bulb than that. I would love to, obviously. That's where you're looking into like light suppliers and saying, okay, if there's a light company that maybe if you can buy 500 light bulbs a month for 80 cents, and that would be really good because that's cheaper. But then again, we have to remember, we can't jump and buy 500 bulbs because there's no like, we haven't created that yet. So I don't know who's going to buy 500 light bulbs yet, obviously. So we have to make sure we got some good prices and stuff. I guess anything else that you found and stuff, or with the online stuff specifically in researching it, or in like tips and tricks on how to organize this together so we can figure out, the cheapest to the non-cheapest, or laying that out?
So I did start to put together just an Excel sheet of the prices I found.
That's good. I'm glad you started that, because I'm glad you actually have that, because I did peek through our Google Drive and stuff. I didn't see any new documents in it, so I thought, well, I know he's done something, I'm sure.
Yeah, I need to go.
So I'm glad you did, but you can keep it on yours though and stuff, so I'm just, that was another that was like my number 2 big worry and stuff, was like, did he record what he found, which you have, which is great.
Yeah, so I just recorded like how many light bulbs you can get in a pack from Amazon and how much the pack was, and then divided that into how much it would be per bulb.
Stuff.
And so that made it more organized, and so we can look through that. I'll put it on the docs there, and we can look through that and see what we can get for pricing as far as how much we want or how many light bulbs we can get for the cheapest price.
Yeah, and the thing is that there were 2 options. I'm going to see if I can find them here. I've got my little Google Docs open here. I had it here where it was, there's 2 versions that we need to figure out and stuff with light bulbs. There's a short-term LEDs and the long-term LEDs options. And the difference between the 2 is that with the short-term LEDs, I guess if we're talking about supply chain, it's like we need to have light bulbs that we can buy like the same day in person for immediate use, or if it's like the next day pickup or like in-store pickup or something where we can just know that we can go and get it right then and there. And then long-term ones where it's like, but if we actually order online, it takes longer, they might be cheaper, but they'll take longer, so we would have those to stockpile for inventory. So those would probably be like the online orders. So that's something to consider, I would say, is short-term versus long-term. But I think it's clear that anything you can buy right now is going to cost more than anything you can buy online, especially when you look at it like shipping costs and, it's not like we have an Amazon Prime account. And obviously if you plan it enough, then I'm not worried about, we can get the cheap free shipping and stuff there. Wait 7 days or something. But yeah, there's this huge list. I mean, everything from Amazon, Walmart, Target, Lowe's, even hardware stores. Matt mentioned the, what are these, pharmacy stores, Walgreens and stuff? Did you come across, or did you check out any of like the non-big brands, like the hardware shops or other maybe like local spots? Anything about that so far? Or?
No, not yet. I meant to get out and even go to some of the stores like Home Depot or Lowe's and see what options they'd had in their stores, and then check out some of the hardware lighting stores, but I've not gotten to that yet.
All right. That'll be interesting. I think if anything, it would just confirm our knowledge, especially because if we're standing at someone's door trying to sell them light bulbs or online or something, someone brought this up to me. They said, well, why would I buy it from you if I can just go buy it myself at the door? Well, okay, that's where we're going into, well, we'll deliver it to you, and maybe we might install it for you, but then, do you want to spend 15 minutes to travel across the store and wear your mask and have to have your car heat up and go in and take the kids and bring them out and stuff? Or, for that $4, or maybe you can pay $5 or $6 and just have all of that, stress and hauling kids back and forth and stuff cut out so you can just, save some time. So that's, have to remember the pauses about, we're trying to figure out, we have to justify and explain why it's worth it to pay about the average price. I mean, we're trying to buy it for like $1 under and selling it for like $3 or $4, maybe $5 or something crazy like that there. And we have to be able to be prepared to know, okay, if they complain and say, well, what about Home Depot? We have to know, well, I looked at Home Depot. We know about that. And so that will help us, bolster our case, but, keep a customer, but also keep us educated so you just understand the market. Because these are all, this list of everyone is all of our, I guess, competitors, our incumbents and stuff that we're trying to unseat. How do you feel about that and stuff? Anything coming up from that little mini rant there, Matt?
Yeah, no, I thought kind of the same thing, just researching light bulbs, why people would buy it from us rather than just go to Amazon like we're doing or like we could do and buy it there. So kind of the same thing, just that convenience where we could deliver it to them. Then I also thought about, and it was something I read in one of the documents that you have on there, was something about picking up old light bulbs. So I just looked at...
Oh, yeah, I did put that in there.
They'd want to be... Because a lot of light bulbs need to be recycled, or there's the glass and stuff, and so it's hard to take care of some of those light bulbs, but there's drop-offs at Home Depot or Lowe's. So I was thinking that could be another selling point where we'd replace all the light bulbs.
We could do that. We could just get it from them.
Recycle for them. So that was a thought I had this week.
That's good, actually. I'm glad you remember that because I forgot about it. Ultimately, you do this for money to make money. I mean, no one goes into entrepreneurship hoping to lose money and not sell anything. I don't know. Maybe unless you're heavily subsidized by the government, you're going to get a loan or something, But we're not like that. This is again, like a real student-led entrepreneurship. This is an experience trying to figure out how do you even start a company? It's not as hard as it sounds, but then again, it's as hard as it sounds. So much like this podcast and stuff, this podcast is a special thing to learn how to do and stuff there. So with the light bulbs and stuff there, because I was talking to, because we're emerging out of, I don't know if we're emerging out of the pandemic, at least things have opened up. Schools are opening and starting, in this last few weeks and stuff. But that's what I was worried about is, if I were to go, and originally I thought, okay, we're going to go in there and actually install the light bulb, clean the little light fixture with a little rag, and then just move on to the next room. And we'll do it in an hour or less and stuff, because it is a pain to change one light bulb. You get some wobbly chair, you start yelling at someone else in the family to come help you out, and then they're all lazy and they don't want to come, and then you're left with changing the light bulb, and you don't want to drop it, when you're in screw it. So I thought, okay, but then if you times that by households on average, this is arbitrary, but for my personal assumptions and experience, you have a lot more light bulbs than you think. You've got probably 40 to 70 light bulbs in your house. Now, they're not all the same light bulb, of course, but you've got a lot of light bulbs. You think, okay, there's probably 2 in each bedroom, there's a couple in your kitchen, then your garage, and the front porch, the back porch, a couple exteriors and stuff there. Then down the hallway in the basement. Think of all the rooms where you've got all your lamps, too. Think of all those homes that use the lamps. Those will take the normal light bulbs that you could switch out for a much brighter and nicer light bulb and also save some money on it. But then back to the pandemic thing, though, is I was worried about, if I'm to send you, Matt, or if I'm to go out, I am, nervous as, an employer, as, an intern, an accredited intern business here at UVU and stuff there. I'm nervous, what if you catch coronavirus and the spread of COVID-19 and stuff there, because... Well, I don't want to be liable for that, and I don't want to deal with... I was like, well, what if an intern sues me? I don't know. You might sue me. I hope you don't sue me for that. But, we did sign waivers before. We've all got waivers in this world of waivers. But then I thought, well, it's not just the interns or me or the business or UVU, but it's a homeowner. What if a homeowner catches coronavirus? This is worst case scenario. If they catch coronavirus, and then they might turn around and accuse the dollar props company and say, you sent an intern in and they didn't have PPE and they didn't follow social distancing and they didn't, so therefore you must be the business with money and stuff. I'm going to say, so that's what I was nervous about. You would, I guess, have to get the errors and omissions insurance. Have you ever heard of that before with businesses?
I have not.
It's just basically protection insurance so that if you make an error, then you'll be okay and stuff. If they try and sue you, you won't go bankrupt and stuff. But that's $100, $125, as much as you want each month in insurance. And I was like, well, I don't know. So maybe we should just do light bulb delivery, but we'll have to look into it there. So I was like, well, should we make them sign a waiver at the door? Like, that might be the safest legal thing to do, but then it's cumbersome. It's awkward. Like, oh, I'm not going to come until you sign this waiver. It's kind of a little awkward and stuff to throw up a waiver in someone's face before you do anything. But anyways, beyond that there, now something that I was interesting to, these two issues, well, there's a couple, because I wanted to share some things I actually learned that I have not talked to Matt about, that I saved just for this podcast. But the first thing is we're going to look into this. So, follow up with this later, of course, if you're listening to this. But I thought about, another friend mentioned, well, what about if you go to Alibaba, the Chinese version of like eBay and Amazon, I guess, alibaba.com or .cn, and to see if you can buy a cheap set of light bulbs there. And also, it's kind of like Fiverr or TaskRabbit. This is like the former what Dollar Props wanted to be. And you can maybe hire someone to print the Dollar Props logo on the actual light bulb. So then we have like our special Dollar Props branded light bulbs, and we're not just, I suppose, rehashing, like Sylvania or Philips or whatever you find out there's some rando no-name brand that's found in Asia somewhere or something. But we can actually have a more meaningful product, to have name attachment. So that's something that we'll have to look into. But obviously, it would cost more because, we're shipping a long ways away, but now we're paying for something to be printed on it, so that's going to... And then the risk about that is if you do a couple batches to test it, you might get some bad batches of sloppy work where you're like, oh, okay, I'm not... so you'll have to, like, squabble back and forth with the person and be like, this was not good quality, and then until they give you something. So that might teach us something about like communication, So, that might be a thing as we get into is seeing what it would take, if we could, as a more longer term solution is, how inclined are you to talk to some rando in across the world and stuff on Alibaba. I don't know. Maybe you might make a new friend there, Matt.
Yeah, I'll look into
it. Okay, so beyond that, so we're going to just continue researching, looking at, add on to the spreadsheet because that's good. We need that. Does that have like filters on it to like organize like top down? Do you know?
I haven't done that
yet.
Okay,
that's okay.
I could set that up.
But if it's on there, at least so we know, okay, this seller, what it costs, and if we have the math out to know, it would be this much per bulb, then we'll obviously. Maybe there's a reason why one bulb would be better if it's $2 per bulb versus $1.50. Something like that.
Yeah.
There. Okay. What else have we got here? Anything that you wanted to go off and share, or that was on your mind so far here, Matt?
As far with the pricing.
Pricing or anything here?
No, nothing that I'd come across yet, or nothing else that I hadn't talked about already.
Okay, that's all right. No worries there. Also, like when it comes to like starting a business, everyone is like market, and marketing and stuff there. And you are in your capstone class right now, and you haven't started like I guess you're in groups, right? Are you in groups and stuff? So you got your people.
Put us in groups.
Do you like your group and stuff? Are they good kids?
Yeah.
They're not listening to this right now, so that's why you can say that. So.
I can say whatever I want about it.
Yes.
No, but there's 4 of us in the group, and they all I think they're all in their last semester.
Okay.
So they're maybe
on
the
same
last
boat.
leg, cruising through the last semester, but...
See, and this will be, I should have talked to your professor. Maybe you guys could have done dollar props as your case study across the board and stuff. That's like super nerdy and stuff there. But, what's going to be interesting too that I'll want to learn about is as you do this capstone with your class and you figure out your market stuff, you're going to be maybe I could apply this to dollar props. And then you'll learn stuff from dollar props and from your pharmacy tech job and other things. You're like, I actually do not want to do this. So maybe we should do this and stuff. So you'll get that experience. I think... that's what the super exciting thing is about having multiple jobs, right? Like you've got 2 jobs, 3 jobs here and stuff, and we're doing school too, so we're having like no shortage of communication or at least exposure to other students. So, but when you come to marketing a business, everyone's like social media, so I'm like, okay, I guess I better sit up, and open up like 10,000 social media accounts. So I've got them and stuff. We've got like 7 Facebook pages, all spelled in different variations. But we're just going to focus on 2. So we got Facebook, our Dollar Probs Facebook, and our dollarprobs.com. At the beginning, the dollarprobs.com made sense. Now that we're not a website, the normal dollar prize makes better sense. We got our standard Instagram, Pinterest, Twitter, and LinkedIn. I guess our next one should be Tumblr because we can push the podcast out to it. But tell me what you thought of as you read through here with social media and stuff. I guess you can explain what was given and then share kind of what you thought from that and stuff.
Yeah, so I've been on and looked at and been into the dollar props on Facebook and the dollarprops.com, as well as the Twitter and Instagram. I've looked at those a little bit.
Did you notice the discrepancy in our followers and our people who like the page, how wild it is?
No, I didn't notice
Okay,
that.
this is crazy, guys. Okay, so not gonna lie, our Twitter, we've got like 4 followers. They're all my previous interns and me. So I guess I don't have a Twitter other than the Dollar Props company one. So we got like 4, and we're following like 20 people. It's really sad. So if you could help us out and follow us on Twitter, that would be wonderful. Our Facebook Dollar Props, those are both kind of tied. They're like 160, 170 likes, which is, I don't know, okay. Obviously not as much, nothing to brag about. What's crazy, now our Instagram, here we're saving the crazy stuff for last here. But our Instagram is like, we've got 90 posts on there, and I mean, the last one was made with the previous intern, so we kind of resurrect that there. But we have like 250 people following us, and then we're following like 1,000 or something. Because I just told my interns, I'm like, okay, you gotta like click and follow people so we can get some more followers and stuff. But it's increased and stuff though. We've done good. I think they've made the previous interns. I really sincerely believe that they've made good, sincere efforts to plan and to make meaningful posts, that they did the best job they could to make it relevant to what their job was supposed to be there for that week and stuff. So I think they did a great job doing that. But now our Pinterest account. Let me just pull this up right now. Anything else to add as I pull this up here? Let me get our Pinterest. I should have had this more prepared, but this is just crazy to me.
Yeah, just while you look that up, just looking at it, like you said, it's been since the last interns that stuff has been put on there. So just some of the plans I've had or ideas is just to really update all the people who like it and follow it on where we're going with it as far as the LED light bulbs. I don't think that's been put on there yet, so just update people.
You're right, there has not been any mention that we've switched and stuff.
So I think that's the next step is get it resurrected, get it going.
Because on our Instagram, it's all like service followers, like other companies are following us. Because our website, dollarprops.com, was for services and other companies to get on and post their jobs and services and opening the stuff there. So I've got our Pinterest pulled up here, guys. And right now, we are sitting at 65.7 thousand, so 65,700 monthly views on our Pinterest. We've got 154 followers. But we do really good on impressions. We've got 77.1 thousand impressions. Actually, our height, this is crazy. Our Pinterest is actually viral. I think it's by viral sense because at the peak, this was hitting like 225,000 impressions on a rolling basis for that month and stuff there. And we were like 153,000 viewers. And it's all from just a few select posts. And now the weird thing is that these are like not relevant at all, but they were popular. So I thought, now let's turn it into a service and how can we tie it into actually what we're doing? And then, think of that success if we can tie it back to entrepreneurship and light bulbs and stuff there. But so we deal with tens of thousands of views and impressions and visitors on our Pinterest, which is bizarre. So yes, we may only have 4 Twitter followers, but we sure as heck have got this is down. I'm pretty sad. It's dropped like 40,000 last few weeks, but hopefully we can bring that up again. But we were getting like 100 to 200,000 views on that, which is insane to me. All for a small little Dollar Probs Pinterest page out of UVU and BYU and Provo and American Fork. I guess we're officially based in American Fork because that's where we're registered and stuff. It's our headquarters, but don't look too deep into that, So it's kind of interesting. Do you have any thoughts on like initial ideas that could be posted for how to get people, I guess, just aware of light bulbs and what we are as Dollar Props?
Yeah, so some initial ideas I had was Just to start doing some facts about the LED light bulbs, because
Yeah.
even looking through it, like I didn't know most of the stuff about these light bulbs.
Yeah.
They are a little more pricey than others, but they last, like 10 times as long, and over the long run, they'll save you more money because they're more energy
It's not like
efficient.
we're taking an arm and a leg from you to buy these. I mean, again, we're talking about a couple dollars per bulb.
Yeah.
Maybe you get 10 bulbs, 14 bulbs. But anyways, keep on going there.
Yeah, and so that's really just start updating people or informing people of the benefits of the LED. And
The benefits of LEDs. That's the key there, is the benefits. Why go LED when you can get a cheapo incandescent? Well, there's a lot of reasons, hopefully. Yeah.
yeah,
Ah.
those are my main ideas so
Good.
far to get started.
Okay, now one fact I wanted to share, because this was interesting and stuff. I had not heard this before until I started looking into light bulbs and stuff a couple months back and stuff. But I heard that bugs are not attracted to LED light bulbs. Have you heard that before and stuff?
Just from when you talked about it last
Okay.
week, mentioned it.
Well, this is like new, so I was like, okay, let's
Yeah,
just Google this and see what it is. So I found this article on 1000bulbs.com. It's entitled "Are Bugs Attract to LED Lights?" And so what they said here, I'm going to share here, is the LED light bulbs, they produce less heat. So that's okay. Obviously, that's one big reason why. And they also emit little to no UV light in the UV spectrum. Now, I don't remember Roy G. Biv from chemistry too well, but I was like, okay, let's read on a little bit and figure what this means. So I guess overall is that LED light bulbs do not eliminate bugs. They're not like a saving grace, but they can potentially significantly reduce the number of bugs being attracted, and they can allow you to enjoy your time outside a lot better than if you had the regular light bulbs and stuff. Which is pretty interesting, because you probably spend plenty of time outside, right?
Yeah.
I spend plenty of time outside too and stuff. So we found that, of course, while the LED light bulb should attract fewer insects than a typical incandescent light bulb, it'll still attract bugs, but less bugs though. And what's interesting is that it said here that LED light bulbs, they're harder to see for some insects. So, that's interesting there. And I guess, again, back to our little UV light, UV spectrum thing and stuff, is that LED light bulbs, they contain less blue wavelengths than normal light bulbs, which again will equate to attracting less insects. But now overall, if you're worried about, well, I don't have LEDs and blah, blah, that kind of stuff there, well, then come to Dollar Props. We'll sell you some light bulbs and stuff. Is that, at least if anything, many sources online across the board, if you do general searching and call up people and stuff, there is that if you have a yellow or the off-white or even those darker golden light bulbs, kind of like those awkward ones where you feel like you're living in a yellow submarine, those are better than nothing. So here's the best of both worlds. If you can get an LED light bulb that is off-white or that is more yellow, because you can do that. I guess some people think LED headlights and they think it's all white,
Yeah.
But that's not the case. LED light bulbs can come in any color. They can be red and blue and green. You got those smart ones that change colors. But you can also get the warmer colored ones that might be a win-win to help reduce how much you're pestered by those pesky bugs. So that was a super interesting thing that I learned. I did a little bit more research into, because that's something that I think would be a good initial post that could go out there on our platforms, is maybe have a picture of a light bulb with a fly around it, or I don't know, something like that. It'll catch your attention. A light bulb of some sort there. And in the caption, it's something quick and short and simple. It says, hey, your chances of getting bothered by bugs is less than if you, I don't know.
Yeah.
Talk about the yellow light versus white light and
Yeah.
LEDs, okay? That's what we're trying to get to with the facts. So, well, that was interesting. So, social media, that's our thing, is we're trying to focus on, can we figure out where can we buy light bulbs, where are we going to source them, kind of like our supply chains. And once we figure that out, now let's look into marketing them and social media and seeing. I think it would be best to, do a little bit of everything. We'll try somehow online in our posts, but maybe, like we discussed earlier and stuff, I guess this is in the job description too, is maybe we'll spend a weird rando hour and just pretend like we're missionaries again and just be like, hello, are you interested in hearing a wonderful message about light bulbs today, how LEDs will save your electricity bill, It's kind kind of awkward. And see, do you have door experience? I don't have door sales knocking experience.
No, just from my.
Do you have friends that are like, they call them the like the Vivint bros,
the summer sales,
summer sales bros? You know.
Yeah, I've had a few friends who go out and do that.
I have friends like that too, and I have a friend who I told him and said, hey. This was on Sunday at church of all days. I'm like, hey, I've got this podcast. You are a super good salesman. You should come and share with us how to do that and stuff. What we could, for some beginner, random, informal, how you can do door stuff. Because I think that'd be interesting and to hear about that. So yeah, down the road. I guess I was like, well, I don't want to do it when it's too cold because then I'll be sad and stuff. So maybe we better again, get our plans put together so we can figure out. I mean, we got to make sure we have our light bulbs first, and then we get and then you can go sell something when you know you can get the product, of course. So, sounds good. I'm super glad that you got some notes and stuff. You wrote some good notes. I wrote some super fast notes on the side here. Anything that sparked your mind from your notes there, or have we covered that, or what's been going on with that there?
Yeah, no, we've covered all that, all the notes I took. We went through all that stuff. So I've got nothing else.
That's good there. Let's see. So now one thing I wanted to share with you today, Matt, was that I ran into a friend. This is my super exciting story I was going to save to the podcast. I texted him I got this cool thing I'll tell you on Thursday and stuff. I ran into a guy who's also, he does cold call sales, that kind of, but makes a lot of money though and stuff. He said maybe you could look into becoming a vendor for a business like homeowners and stuff. So maybe you call up D.R. Horton, Ivory Homes, American Richmond Homes, Daybreak, or whatever. Have you heard of those names and stuff there? And be like, well, where do you get your light bulbs? And how many light bulbs do you sell in your house unit design division sub plans and stuff there? And maybe if they source, I honestly wouldn't think we could beat them. But as a lofty thing to check into, because I am quite curious to see what that would be, is to call up Ivory Home and say, let's talk to your development manager or your project person and say, how do you get, who's your vendor for light bulbs? And I guess it might be a secret for them to divulge on how much, they sell it for. And maybe we could counter and say, well, I'll sell you X amount of just these light bulbs for 20% less. That's assuming and hoping that we could beat whatever they do. Mm-hmm. So we would have to win on quantity. If we were only making a penny per light bulb, I don't know if it's worth it for a penny, but that was something that he brought up there that I was like, we got to check into that. So I don't know. How do you feel about that? I mean, so we've got there's a lot of things going on. It's okay to be overwhelmed. I'm
just a little overwhelmed there. But no, I like that idea. Something I hadn't thought of. And so definitely something we could look into.
There's just so many things I want to try. And like I said, we're both in school. And so I feel so constrained with time, your schedule. Yeah. You're just hopping from school to school and work and work and work and work. And then whatever else you have to do in your life to be social and be a millennial and try to graduate college and not be poor and sad forever. Top ramen noodles, not my favorite, but sometimes a boy's got to do what a boy's got to do and stuff. I guess our last thing as we wrap up here, we're almost done, but our financials. Like I said earlier, we were not on paper a fantastic business. We just had a flat out net loss, a 99.99% net loss. What was it? Did you get to look at the financials? Have you peeked at them yet?
I haven't peeked at them yet.
Okay, you'll have to peek at those. We'll talk about them next week and stuff. But overall, I'm just going to admit this is super embarrassing, but I guess you could say we lost, but in development, it's dollar pros, we have spent $14,000. I have spent $14,000 through personal savings and putting the money into it and stuff there to bring it to where it is today. And so obviously when we're starting from scratch, and that's why I called it, starting from scratch, the previous podcast there, is I obviously certainly hope we will make a sale of light bulbs. Because if we can make one sale at a door or one sale online, it's set up to hopefully we can recuperate that cost in just the first sale. If we're not, counting, our labor hours, but an actual cost, inventory, a light bulb, stick it in a box and deliver it and get paid and stuff there. So we'll go over those next week and stuff there. But, the tide will hopefully change, what is it in Have you seen Hamilton?
I have not watched.
You have not seen Hamilton? You haven't seen Hamilton?
Everyone tells me to watch it, but I haven't.
Oh
to
man,
it yet.
I mean, I don't think I'm going on a limb here, Matt, but I don't think you're an art person or like. I mean, obviously you're not majoring in what is it, musical theater and stuff and drama. Like you're probably not into that. I'm not into it really either, but I'm aware of it, and I did watch Hamilton. And think of this line of what King George said: is he's like, "Empires fall, oceans rise." What is that? I don't know how the tune goes. Like empires rise and oceans fall, or whatever. That's totally off there. Good thing this is not directed towards the School of Arts there, the humanities and stuff there. But I guess we fell in the last 2 years in that sense. But we have opportunity to rise. That's my amazing, super, cheesy, thing. You have to watch Hamilton. It won't count for your hours, unfortunately. But so I think we're pretty good. I mean, you got a taster. We've got our intern. We've got our intern Matt here with us. I mean, you are gonna see next week when we meet again on Thursday and stuff. I'm assuming that's still good. Yes. Our normal Thursday schedule there.
That's great.
I mean, you're gonna see what went on. Like, did we finalize some stuff? We're kind of trying the first 2 weeks just to finalize stuff and figure out really quick. It's coming together fast. Of okay, where are options to buy short term and long term, and look into that, and then we'll have to come up in the weeks 3 and 4. Like our sales plan, and I'll try to get my other friend to come talk with us about how to be nice or mean when you knock on doors. And this is not like some, oh my gosh, we're going to spend 14 hours doing this. I feel like I could only take a half hour, maybe an hour if we're just having a ball and stuff there, but just to see, I don't know, get some experience to be exposed, but then hopefully it'll inspire us to find something else rather than doors and stuff there, because I'm not a big fan. But I thought we ought to try it though, just to get something out there. So yeah, I hope we learned a lot there. Do you have any other questions? Any random things you want to share or cool things? I mean, you can have like the last big chunk here, the last effect here on anyone that listens to this, or I guess us in the future. You'll remember this moment at 5:12 p.m. on the 3rd of September, this date. What should we know, Matt? I don't know if it's like what you had for lunch. Like, you're probably like, I'm gonna cut this part out of it, but I don't know. So
no, I'm just excited to be here, and even just
final thoughts. Yeah, that's what I should have called it there.
Talking to family and friends like about my internship and like being the only intern and what I'm doing. Like,
that is interesting. Are they like surprised? Like, oh, like what is this a real thing? Or
they're like, is it just you two? I was like, yeah, it's just the two of us. Like, it's
crazy,
really brand new. Like, we're seeing where it goes.
Madness.
And I'm just telling everybody that I'm gonna be an expert on LED light bulbs here soon.
That's good stuff. I like it. Well, again, I'm Derek.
And I'm Matt.
And I definitely appreciate you listening here to our Dollar Problems podcast. Join us next week on Thursday. Have a great rest of the day.